This is the burning issue on the happy world of 5FM radio, bringing you hot, smoldering topics on a weekly basis. Your participation is important.
Good morning and welcome to yet another edition of the burning issue here on the happy world of 5FM radio on 89.9 in Lusaka and the surrounding area. We are also live on our partner radio stations, and these are Tuta FM in Mansa and covering the rest of Wapula province, that is on 90.7 FM. We are also live on Muchinga Radio in Muchinga province, Chinsali to be precise. That's where the radio station is based, but covering the rest of Muchinga province on 88.1, and also live on iWave FM radio in Chingola, covering the rest of the Copper Belt on 90.1 FM. Remember, Central Province is locked in as well. We are live on Spice FM, that is on 91.1 in Kabwe, to be precise. That's where the station is. We are grateful for carrying this program live on your platforms. And here in Lusaka, it's 89.9, and of course the surrounding areas as well. We are also on the Facebook page, remember, and our Facebook page is 5FM Radio Zambia. Also, don't forget, later in the course of the program, I will give you, our listeners, an opportunity to call in and interact with our guest. I'm your host, Zachariah Banda. Now, today, our guest is Emmanuel Mulite, who is the member of the UPND Alliance, and at the same time, Roan aspiring candidate. Now, Roan constituency is a constituency based in Luanshya. So we're going to have a lot to discuss around Luanshya, and more so the development that is taking shape in Luanshya, and also other developments that we're talking about are infrastructure such as the road infrastructure, which we are all aware is part of the Ndola-Lusaka dual carriageway, which is also taking place. And why is he aspiring to become a member of parliament for that particular constituency, in this case, Roan constituency? All these things will be unveiled to us in this conversation. Mulite, welcome to the program. Good to have you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zach. Good morning, the listeners.
Now, I'm grateful that I have you here. Reason also knowing to the fact that we started talking in the background a long time ago on the possibilities of us meeting, but also we kept postponing this because we were waiting for certain events to take place, certain developments to take place, so that we can have a holistic discussion. And I think that it's time that we did that, and I'm delighted that this time has come to pass, and we are grateful that you made it. Otherwise, how have you been?
Fine. I've been okay. Just preparing myself to hit the ground, especially in Roan constituency, so that we revisit our structures. We go back and give them hope in other areas that the development in Roan constituency that has never, that has not first actualized. So we're into planning phase. I think by November we'll be hitting the ground in Roan constituency, and also just to help our vulnerable families in Roan constituency, so that we see how we can help to do leadership. I've done a lot of my politics. I've participated too much on the national level. So it's time to go back on the ground.
That said, my interest then is when did you start politics?
I started politics in Roan 2005.
What necessitated that?
I was part of the campaign team for Honorable Chimbaka.
Oh, yes.
The time he fight for NMP there in Roan constituency. So we were key that we were supporting the man. He brought us to help. But what made me join politics? I'm a community worker. My passion is community. My vision is to make sure that the community are in safe hands. Community, there's leadership under the community level.
Right.
So I was identified, and Mr. Kamwili, and he brought in, and I was also running his media team.
Right.
So I was in charge of his media team from 2005.
Yeah.
So I'm actually now, I was even looking at my years in politics. I think I'm now over 20 years in politics, active politics.
Yeah.
It's just to help people.
So you feel now you've learned enough about politics. You've learned enough about service to the people. And is this the reason why now you feel you are ripe for you to run as member of parliament?
I think in life there has to be, you have to graduate.
Yeah.
I've saved people.
Yeah.
I've saved almost from the time it's just the current MP that we have. All the MPs from Mr. Kambili, Joseph Chala, up to now, I've helped I've been part of the leadership of Roan.
Yeah.
And there's no way other constituents that I can go and try and stand.
Yeah.
I've known Roan like the back of my palm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you also were born there. Grew up there, no?
I grew up
in Roan,
but I was not born in Roan.
Interesting. But then your journey with Honorable Kambwili was from the time he was Patriotic Front, until he later on got into form NDC, and you became member of the NDC till now, I believe. And so you decided as NDC to get into an alliance with the UPND, and now it's called UPND Alliance. And much as we are going to talk about alliances, what I also believe is that alliances have been formed in this country and some have not worked, and some are going through devastation right now as we speak. Not even yours has equally been or rosy or successful, because it has also faced its own challenges. I mean, people have left, certain political parties have left the alliance in frustration. They are now talking bad about the fact that it is not working. And this brings me back to the question, do alliances really work?
They do.
And you think yours has worked?
Yes, definitely.
To the contrary, because so many alliance members keep leaving this alliance.
Those who are leaving, members say that it's because if they don't see a reason why they should be in the alliance, people leave. But contrary to what I've believed that the alliance, why I stood in a place where I remain in the alliance. Remember, I was very, very close, very close, and I'm still close. Mr. Kambili is like my elder brother. So I was very close. And the time when it came to decide, when you're doing politics, when it came to decide for the Zambian people, I joined politics because I wanted to represent the Zambian people. I wanted to represent people. Our alliance worked, and it's still intact, contrary to what other people. Those who have left the alliances, they did not get their expectations. And you know how politics.
What would you say their expectations were?
Obviously, jobs. Let's not beat about the bush.
I've hosted some here, and they have disputed that it was not about jobs. But also, what is coming out strongly is that the alliance is one-sided. And the president of the UPND, in this case, His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema, is not giving attention to other alliance members. They don't feel like they are important. And also some have labeled him as a stubborn president and too stubborn to be within an alliance.
You see, consistency is very important in politics. And I'll say that consistency is very important. And you see, coming off social media, it has exposed a lot of politicians. What I say today should tally with what I said in 2016 should be in line with what I'm saying now. We've seen people say these things and whatnot. That's why I said benefits. If people don't get the benefit, those who are complaining about the UPND alliance now, check their background. Maybe they wanted jobs, and I mean, it's the president that appoints. I was in the alliance. In fact, I've been in the alliance from the time with the formation of the alliance in 2017. I've not gotten any job. I'm still participating in politics. You've never heard me complain about how we've been left out and whatnot. And moreover, governance, there are few positions in governance that can only accommodate a few. And telling that the president has not done much for the alliance will be economic with the truth. The president has appointed a lot of from the alliance. Most right now, as the alliance and the UPND alliance, we have to fill in a certain position because others have now to public service. We have even the Minister of Science and Technology is from the alliance. I can mention comments is from the alliance. I can Northern Province is from the alliance. What more can somebody do? And that's why the president, when we were forming the alliance, the president said we want to unite the country. We can't be shooting this one. It's they're campaigning this side. The Zambian people asked us that work together. And that particular time, the only political party that was big enough, had more structures, was the alliance. We had formed the NDC in 2017. And NDC was just, yes, it was a baby born with teeth. We won by-elections, but it was just everything that we get into the alliance. And those who never felt, they fall off. Those who just said, okay, we can't work with the UPND, they fall off. As we remained with the political party, we went ahead and we won these elections. So you telling me and others coming to me telling me that alliances don't work. Those who don't get the benefits of what they want in the alliance, they fall off and they have to blame. But I mean, alliances work.
How is it like with the UPND alliance when benefiting from job? Let's start by first of all discussing benefiting at the grassroots. Are alliances benefiting at grassroots level, even at parliamentary?
When you say benefiting, what
in
do you
terms
mean?
of, well, let me put it this way. For example, you are planning on becoming, or you're aspiring to become a member of Roan constituency. In this case, you are a member of the NDC.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
Do you think that you are going to be on that ballot as an NDC member of the alliance, or you are going to go there as member of the UPND? That is the issue. So are you benefiting as alliances whereby UPND is able to forgo certain constituencies or by-elections, or they'll be able to forgo certain constituencies to give it to alliance members? Has this happened, just so that people understand that it's not all about UPND?
Okay, so the agreement that we got into with the UPND alliance was two things. We had selected and elected in the alliance that President HH becomes the president. Secondly, he's entitled to choose the running mate of his kind. Then all the political parties that are in the UPND alliance, this is agreed and we've signed, should stand on the UPND. Why did we come up with that? The reason is simple. You don't go into marriage and planning for divorce. you don't get into a marriage and you're planning on how you're going to exit. If we say you are UPND Alliance, you stand on UPND. And the UPND is the ticket that everyone stands. You are a political party on yourself, but you stand on UPND.
Okay.
And it was sealed and done. When you join the UPND Alliance, and I want to make it clearly to other political parties that wants to join. When you want to join the UPND Alliance, please, ngamwaisa mu UPND, ukuimina nipa UPND, kusupporta ni President HH. Let's seal that deal, so that, because the cause of us coming together is we have points that we had common goals that we were fighting for. We were fighting for the rule of law. We were fighting for fight corruption. We were promising Zambian people to recover the economy. We were promising the people. We attached to making sure that all these things that other political parties are talking about can only be achieved if we come together. We have all the common goals. So if you come in the UPN, please read the ideology, because this ideology came like they were just meeting at the same point. And at this particular time, we have one driver, and this driver that driving this UPND Alliance, this political parties, President HH. Yes.
Now, let's get to Roan itself. For the longest time, Roan constituency has not had a voice in terms of it was seen as a finished constituency, right? Once upon a time, a viable town, a viable constituency, Roan itself, and for the longest time, not as was sung about. But today, Roan is being talked about because there's development getting into it. But before we talk about the development that Roan has started seeing, let's talk about Roan constituency in the history of it.
So, Roan constituency, it has two major, we call them township, two major. There's Roan and there's Impatamato.
Right.
And these are mining areas. Yes, we have the surrounding, but other mining areas. But the population of Roan constituency is actually mainly in Roan itself.
Yeah.
And Patamato, Fisenge. But the history of the mining area. And I remember the mine were going down. We had seen that Roan now started becoming a ghost town. It became a ghost town, and we saw jobs being on recess. We saw people losing jobs. Miners were losing jobs, leaving the town. We had Ramcos not paying the ex-miners their benefits. So, in a nutshell, Roan became a ghost town.
Yeah.
And most of us, even coming to Lusaka, we came here for green pastures, that when we go back, at least we can feed the families that have been left there.
Yeah.
But there is hope that has come into Roan.
Yeah.
The mines were shut down, and of course the CNMC coming in, they were just operating certain areas of mining, which was not enough. And now the coming in of 28 shaft, hope has come back to Roan. I mean, but for now, Roan has definitely, I can announce to you that Kulwansha na Kubwela. Why do I say so? That mine, 28 shaft, was shut down probably 2004. If I could remember very well. 2004, that's when they closed down that mine, and it has been flooded. And it was a tool that a lot of political parties, especially the Patriotic Front, used to woo the votes for the for people
through promising
we'll reopen 28 shaft, we'll open 28 shaft. And when we were campaigning in 2021, when the president said we're going to reopen, it was just I think this story we've heard it.
And in this case, 2021, in this case, you mean the former president?
The 2021, meaning the current president now. President
yes, when he started also singing the song.
Yes, he came to campaign. I remember when we were campaigning for the by-election. It says, when you vote for me, when we were campaigning for the by-election that we had,
yes,
the one that we won as NDC,
yes,
that time, when the president came, then he was in opposition. He said, the first thing that we'll do when you get into office is to reopen 28 shaft. True to his word, 28 shaft has been reopened.
But you didn't believe him. You didn't trust that
obviously because of
many other presidents had sung the song.
Many other politicians would use. Recall how Mlongoshi Textile
equally was
something
was
that
a chorus in many songs.
In many songs, because they know that this is the core business and core. This is the survival of the town.
Yeah.
So if they tell them, if you tell you we're going to open, you vote for me, they use that to win the votes. Looking at what has happened now in Luansha, everyone has now hope. At least I mean, we can see all that in Kaliano, there's hope that has come. And there's not just hope that has come, is the expectation of the jobs that are going to be created around that area. 3,000 jobs is a lot for the community like Luansha. 3,000 jobs is just job that will be able to have money in circulations, people are able to see businesses growing up, marketeers able to sell their stuff properly. So the reopening of 28 shaft, it's a prayer answered for the Roan people.
Everything else looks so strategic.
Yes.
That you cannot reopen that if the state of the road remained the way it was all this time. It was difficult for that mine to reopen had the road remained the way it is. Do you feel that everything else is working so perfectly well that you are about to reopen the mine and the road is being done?
Go to Luansha now. If somebody goes to Luansha, nobody could cope about. If you go to Luansha, from Luansha Tunnel, getting into Luansha, that road was only done in Yonipi time. So that road is being done now. The road network in Luansha, regardless of whoever that has come into power, it was not the way it is now. And the strategic, like you said, Luansha's hope to recover, to become a town that we know, it has now going to be revamped. And to tell you the truth, if somebody wants to invest their small businesses, the place to be is in Luansha right now, because the road network we've been given by we've been given by RDA certain kilometers, 10 kilometers, the township roads, just to connect certain roads that are bad. Those are developmental things that are happening in Luansha. Yes, we have certain challenges that are coming in due to other circumstances, obviously. But looking at where we are and where we're coming from, I think we can only thank the president with his well leadership that has portrayed and being committed to what he promised the people of Luansha.
Is that reason enough as to why the UPND needs to be re-elected 2026 in Luansha?
Uteshivo kwale fuma nokwale yatakuishiva ngawala bokole fuma nokole yatetu kuishiva. Why do I say that? If you can't recall where we're coming from a ghost town to a town that is showing hope. I mean, why change? You know what causes certain imbalances in development is this issue of changing leaders when they have started doing. It has taken us a lot of time to repay a lot of foundations as UPND. Reason being is the damage was so. Right now we're still dealing with projects that would only take off maybe 2027, but they will be beneficial and they will last long. If ikokola ukupakwamba and being strategic and whatever that you're doing, it has more lifespan than any other things. So changing the government, I mean, it's not an option in Roan. We're seeing this development happening. We can't just afford to have 20H have to be closed down just because there's new government that has come in. We can't afford the road network not to continue, which is taking place now because we are going into election. I think for the people, I think they've experienced the West. Nishta avena uroni bamfako bwino avena Luansha bonse bamfako bwino avena mikomva bonse bamfako bwino. It's their time. We've been praying that Luansha ikabwela. This is the signs that Luansha na ishtashani na ibwela.
Why you in 2026 as your own constituency candidate?
It's only fair. Yeah, it's only fair, my brother, that the Luansha people decide to put first of all a young person experienced in politics. I know I'm very consistent in how my engagement in politics, and I'll tell you why. The time that
do you have the blessings of the man that mentored you?
What do you mean mentoring?
Have you spoken?
What do you mean mentoring?
Well, I think that you started your politics. I mean, he identified you.
Yes,
right.
Yes.
He identified you,
yes.
And I'm believing that he mentored you.
I have so much respect for Mr. Kambili because
has he got a lot of blessings on this decision?
A lot of people you still attach me at you know what I mean.
But do you have his blessings on this? Have you talked about this? Have you shared with him about this?
I don't necessarily need his blessing at this particular time, and I'm not saying that to disrespect him. I've learned enough that even him, there's no room that he cannot even endorse. I know him, but we differed with Bakambwili on principle. He decided to leave the cause of the Zambian people on politics. And this is what we promised him.
And what I don't believe is that because you differed politically, I don't think that has extended to personal differences.
No, definitely no.
So it's on personal, it's on a personal relationship that you have with him that I'm asking a question about. Do you think that he has given you blessings to go on?
That is a story for another day. I'll ask him, but I've not.
You have not talked.
We have not talked about that, but he knows that I'm vying for in 2026. I'm vying for that, and it will be very unfair for him not to endorse me, because I know he knows my capability. He knows what I'm able to do. He knows what I've learned. He knows how stubborn I was when he's trying to be selfish in certain areas. So we differed with my big man on principle.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot from him. Becoming the household of CK, once a household in politics, becoming household. It was not easy for him just to penetrate that name, and it's unfortunate. I sometimes I'm at pain because I contributed so much to his brand as Honorable Kamwili. So seeing him getting back to PF, I just said that was a political suicidal. That was a political suicidal. Remember in 2018, the time we just formed NDC, I brought in even the suggestion of him going to Southern Province to go and apologize. The time he was haunted out in PF.
Yeah.
I accompanied him. So you know the man that where I'm coming from. I'm coming from with him from way, way, way back.
Right.
But in life we have to grow. And obviously we joined politics and decisions are made and we respect all the decisions.
Yeah.
But I know he will support me.
Yeah.
Definitely. I know he will support me.
Roan currently has an independent member of parliament.
Yes.
Right. And this independent member of parliament, going into the 2021 elections, he definitely campaigned that the people of Roan should vote him as member of parliament, and he endorsed Edgar Lungu for presidency, right? And he won that election. Do you think that the situation isn't the same to date in Roan, that UPND may not actually get it again? Do you think the situation is the same?
Definitely not. The situation in Roan is and I'll give you background.
Yeah.
We won on the presidential as UPND. The president had a lot of votes. We won just specifically in Rwanda itself.
Yeah.
We won a mayoral.
Yes.
The mayor there got even good votes even in Roan constituency and Rwanda Central.
All right.
We won Rwanda Central itself. We only lost Roan constituency
to an
independent
member of parliament. But at presidential level, it went to Hakainde Hichilema.
It went to Hakainde Hichilema. We won with a landslide there. So if you're therefore kubewa na wena Roan at mwashalila sana, it's part that you become part of the government development. You cannot have an independent person and expect a lot of representation in when it comes to governance. It's easy to have your own to negotiate. Yes, the CDF covers across, but if you talk about CDF, very few projects that have been identified in Roan constituency itself.
Would you blame that on the member of parliament?
Because the representation there, it's leadership.
But this is a member of parliament who is working fairly well with this government.
Yeah, he has no choice. This is a good government. But
so why
we are talking about capabilities.
So why would you think that he is not doing well in as far as implementation of the CDF if he is literally working closely with this
I'll be
government?
honest with you. I can't remember the right way. I'll be honest with you. He doesn't understand the geographical setup of Roan. He's not a Roan person. Roan people need somebody that understands Roan. Tabaish Baron. Do you know why we lost the other elections on the MP level?
Yeah.
The man never knew Roan.
So the UPND candidate who lost in 2021 didn't know Roan, is that what you're saying?
Yes, it was actually coming from us.
NDC.
He was brought in by Mr. Kamwili. Remember during the by-elections?
Yeah.
Yes. He was brought in by Mr. Kamwili. And he won on the fact that at that time, Kamwili was popular.
Yeah.
Roan. So standing by himself, people didn't know him. Kamwili was not there to stand for him. The Roan people, balaroleshanya pamenso. Wapari banani. Are we able to go and even ask for sort and what? People want to know, identify themselves to who they know. And that particular time, because the current MP now there stood on PF and lost to us then. So he remained working with the community. What people in Roan want is They don't want money. They want leadership, people that they can go to. If they need help, health facilities. They want somebody that they can able to interact. We are more of a community. Roan is more of a community constituents. We know each other there. We know ourselves. So, and we know the struggles that we've gone. And kudos to the president for opening up of that 28 shaft. We'll see jobs there.
You will see jobs, but also let's be realistic. It's not that all the 3,000 jobs will be filled up by people who currently live in Luanshya. You are likely to have an influx from everywhere around the country getting jobs in Luanshya, and it doesn't guarantee that all the 3,000 people will actually going to focus and get to know you by face for them to vote for you. So you are likely to have a lot of influx of the population in Luanshya. Well, do you feel that Declaration Apartments will work for you?
Declaration Apartments, so or Nangudanda to Kula Apartments. It's somebody has to have a track record. Afumine Kwisa. Where is he coming from? What is he bringing on the table? I have a track record of my political career. I'm not blowing my own trumpet. I have a track record of my political career. I've been consistent representing the people. I've been consistent in having just even 500 jobs in Roan Ifemweka. It's life-changing. I know where I'm coming from. Just even 500 jobs. Section 1 kupatamato 27 kuroni ku section 9 kudife bangu babirifya balebo mbafye. It gives the story there changes, and I'm not riding on that, and I'm not only riding on that. I have experience in this politics. I know how I can represent the people. I know the struggles that people go there, and I'm saying the current one doesn't even understand the geographical location of that constituency. I've been brought up in that area. Everyone knows that. If you go there, you go there and ask even what we had mwani kuishiwa ukafubro limited wakuishiwa.
Let's discuss the economical rise that Luanshya and Roan, to be precise, is experiencing now, in anticipation of Shaft 28 coming to life. What is the talk now among the youths, especially that you are a youth, and I'm sure your peers are talking to you about about this progress? But in anticipation, what are they saying?
They just want jobs. They want jobs. They want businesses in the mine. They want to be they want to be the first people to be beneficiary of that mine. The talk of the youths there, specifically, they've told me, Mamarite, mining guys, mukambi kuroresha kuna pa marriage. First, because the jobless there, it's quite a worrying story. A lot of our young people, they are not working. They're trying by all means to do farming. They're trying by all means to do some businesses, but when there's no proper industry in a constituency, you can only do a bit. So coming up of that, their main goal is they just want beneficiaries. The locals want to be the beneficiaries.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk around the lost popularity of the UPND alliance. Do you think that the UPND alliance is as popular as was in 2021? Do you think that it is guaranteed that the UPND will actually win the 2026 general election based on popularity?
Let me not talk about popularity. I think that's where maybe the arrogance of politicians comes in. Oh, we are popular or what? But what would make somebody look at other alternative apart from the UPND?
Cost of living.
Cost of living. There are many factors that I can address that. But like I said, What would make somebody just think of PF? What would make somebody just think of another political party that has not brought any tangible manifesto apart from criticizing President HH? And I would safely say, on the presidential part, I don't see any reason why somebody cannot vote for President HH and vote for any other candidate that I'm seeing right now. Right now, as we speak, the president has no competition at presidential level. To be honest, somebody who has been in politics for quite some time. But for continuity's sake, and I'm not saying...
But its competition are people of Zambia.
The competition is
you don't necessarily need an individual to be seen as an opposition, a credible opposition candidate, but the people of Zambia.
Yes.
And I think that we've been there in this country before, where people think it's about the candidate. I think it's about the citizens. Now it's about the people, because they have shown through several elections in this country that the people have the power.
Yes.
Even when you think that you have all the machinery at your disposal, when the people decide, they decide. And I think the people going into 2026 and future elections will be everyone's major opposition.
Yes.
How do you then navigate through that?
We represent the people. What will make us be in power, continuation of people, is how we've presented ourselves. There is no, where we've been even having a backlash amongst our own structures. It's because the president is magnanimous enough, has shown that when he's a president, he's just not a president of a political party. There's that fair play where if there's recruitment of teachers across the country, people are just being employed without kickbacks, without political influence and whatnot. Those are signs that we are representing the people. And true to your words, the Zambian people are the deciders of who's popular, who's going to take over, and at this particular time, I'm very confident enough to say that the Zambian people have no option apart from the continuation of things that are seeing that the foundation that is being laid. Yes, there are challenges. Things are hard. There's power issues. But there are factors where you see the president is responding to failures. It's not that the president is now also in a mode that is not working hard. You've seen how the president is worked extremely hard. The man does not rest until certain things are handled. But he's only a man. And those things, that the efforts that he's making, the Zambian people can see. There's no way they can bring in a political party that is party after party. We are not in a party mode. We are actually in a place where we have to work hard. What has hit the Zambian people, the national disaster that has hit this country, is a wake-up call for hard work. And I'm glad politically, and I'm happy of myself that I'm part of this man. I'm part of this vision of this man that is hardworking, that I can look up to say, okay, this man is hardworking. Things are just hard. Things are not the way they're supposed to be, but the man is committed to resolve issues.
This is the Thursday edition of The Burning Issue here on the Happy World of 5 FM radio. Remember, our guest this morning is Mr. Emmanuel Malite, who is actually a member of the UPND Alliance, and he is aspiring for Roan constituency come 2026. And we've discussed quite a lot of issues here. And remember that we are also live on our partner radio stations. We are live on iWave FM in Chingola, covering the rest of the Copper Belt on 90.1. Live as well on Tuta FM in Mansa, covering Rapula Province on 90.7. Also live on Machinga Radio on 88.1. in Chinsali, covering the rest of Machinga province. Central province is well represented. We are live on Spice FM, and that is on 91.1 FM. And also, don't forget, here in Lusaka, we are on 5 FM radio, 89.9, and the surrounding areas, of course, live also on our Facebook page, and that is 5 FM radio Zambia. We will take some phone calls, like I promised much earlier, that we will open the phone line so that you can interact with our guest. And the number you're calling us on is 0955 221515. That's the number. Once again, the number is 0955 221515. Mr. Emmanuel Malite is my guest, member of the UPND Alliance, and of course, aspiring candidate for Roan constituency in Luansha. So we'll take your phone calls on 0955 221515. Let's take this particular call. Good morning.
Correct. Zach, I hope I'm clear. You are talking to the hard man, one Mutembo George compound representing.
Mutembo, yes.
Yes, thank you very much. I feel for me, I'm very disappointed to hear a Zambian in this time and era praising the government to say that no, that they are doing fine, when what is on the ground is the contrary. Today, under the leadership of Mr. SS, the UPND president, we are passing through load shedding of a gargantuan proportion. Some of us, the last time we saw electricity was on Sunday, up to date. And here we are the Zambians saying that no, everything is fine. So when the UPND took power, they made a lot of promises such as economic growth, reduced inflation, lower cost of living, lower cost of doing business, cheap meal, no road shedding, medicines in hospital, and what. If you look at these things that I've highlighted, they are a contrast to what is on the ground, because today people are languishing. They have no food in their homes. They said that they would lower the cost of doing business so that the businesses can thrive. Today, businesses are closing in the industries. Today, men and youth are being sent to go and languish in the compound under the leadership of the so-called economic manager who was lamentably failed. So, sir, in as much as you are speaking with food in your mouth, I would rather that you have sympathy to the Zambians, because this government that promised a lot, today it is fighting Archbishop Banda. Would they fighting against the Archbishop bring down the cost of living? No. Would the fight against the opposition, arresting the opposition every day, going to create employment in the industries? No. So you have misplaced priorities. No wonder you want to increase your tenure of office, but you are not going to allow. Thank you very much, as Mutembo Napia Mobile.
Thank you very much, Mutembo, for your contribution on that on this program. We'll take some more on 0955 221515. Well, we lost it, but call us back. And of course, the number again is 0955 221515. Let's take this one. Good morning.
Good morning, Razak.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well.
I'm all right. How are you, sir?
Good. My name is Collins. I'm calling from within Lusaka.
Collins.
Please
go ahead.
Just a comment on the previous caller. You know, what he thinks is not what everybody thinks. What he sees is not everybody what he sees. You know, the checks and balances from this guy, Mutembo, I think they are not.
I would probably ask that you don't discuss your fellow callers, but if you have a comment to make, please just make your comment.
I hear you.
Thank you.
Some checks and balances are not genuine, because some of the people were cadres at the Seco market. They used to terrorize people, and once they were taxed out of, they turn now against the government of the day, because the issue of road shedding, everybody knows that it's got nothing to do with the president, because even if the PF was still around with this current situation, it was going to be the same, maybe even worse. But what we want is let's trust this government to do everything possible. They use other alternative energy sources. They shouldn't just depend on the hydro, because so far it shows that anytime there's drought,
their problems. I think that's my contribution. Thank you.
I appreciate Collins for that. Let me take some more calls on 0955-221515. This is the Thursday edition of the Burning Issue. My guest is Mr. Emmanuel Malite. He is the member of the UPND Alliance and Roan constituency aspiring candidate come 2026. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Not too bad. How are you doing yourself?
I'm okay. This is Trusty in Osaka.
Trust, please go ahead.
Yes, ukabwanji babosi uko.
Bwino mibwanji ba Trust.
Na babosi mkamba bwino tutumbele mkamba bwino maningi.
Oh, that was so short. But thanks for coming, Trust, and we appreciate your contribution. Let's see if we can take some more. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Morning, thank you. Your name, son, where are you calling us from?
You're talking to Lukulu Voice on the line here.
Lukulu Voice.
Yes.
Where are you calling us from?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Where are you calling us from?
I'm in Saka now.
Great. I'm well. Please go ahead.
Thank you. How are you, the guest?
How are you, Mr. Lukulu Voice?
I'm okay. Nice to hear you there.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, first and foremost, we are in this situation today because of what? Because of drought, which is called El Nino. We are in road shedding situation. You blame it to Dr. Kande Chirma or is that the UPND government? No, you are not being realistic. Then, when you look into it critically, where can the blame go? Automatically goes to the PF government. These PF individuals, when they were in government, they concentrated on hydropower stations, forgetting that one day we are going to have El Nino. They were busy. And at that time, when we visited Karipa Dam, that was 2015, when Ed Kalongo assumed the office at that time, we found the water level, it was at 7.7 meters. All right? But there was road shedding up to 22 hours. We forgot in Zambia. When we went to check fact-finding missions, as we call us, we went there to check. It was surprising to hear that only 2 turbines that were working. The rest were substandard. They were consuming a lot of water. You see now, huh? You see the difference? This time around, as we speak, the Karipa Dam, there's only 1 meter water there. You see the difference? 7.7? Then there's 1 meter. But these governments have tried by all means not to shut down. They have just switched off all the 5. There's 1 which is remaining. So that we can have power even for an hour, it's okay. As they are bringing in other solutions. Energy mix, is that not enough? That's only way these companies are doing. So not only that, as we speak today, there's gensets which are being put on this market. Have you not seen them? Those are just short-term measures. As they also, not only that, the president just went to, if you like, he just went to China. And he had the fruitful discussion, and the investment is coming here for energy. Whereby this country will be now a net exporter of energy. Within 3 years, this man has been in power, honestly speaking. So what's the problem here? So in short, within just these 3 years has been in power. How many people that have been employed in this country from 1964? There's only this government in 3 years have employed 40,000 teachers. It has never happened before. Almost
Thank you, Mr. Lukulu. Thank you, Mr. Lukulu.
Yes.
You have overstayed on the line, but thank you for coming. We appreciate your contribution.
Anyway,
thank you
very much.
I'm grateful.
It means well.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes. So let's take some more calls. Let me just get one more call, and maybe you can react on 0955-221515. That's the number you're calling us on. Good morning. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Good morning, Zaki. My name is Moses, and good morning, the panelists.
Morning.
Well, Moses, where are you calling us from?
From within Osaka.
Please go ahead.
The UPND has been in power for almost 4 years now. And there's no way we can be experiencing load shedding for almost 1 week. Where were they? They could have planned for this. We know very well that during September, October, Manzia Mahinda Pan, these initiatives that they are bringing on now, they should have started this thing immediately they came into power. That was supposed to be the priority, knowing that the shedding was the main campaign too. So I think that the same poor leadership that they used to blame their colleagues, we also blame them here. They could have planned. There is no way we can be blaming nature, Mvula Chan. When our hardworking president, when he was in the opposition, he told us that their country is producing electricity without the Mvula. And we all said, here is the man that we need. We had our faith, and we still have our faith in him as our Republican president. So they are the ones to blame. They shouldn't even blame PF here. They are partly to blame. They've been in power for almost 3 years and so. They've planned for this. These initiatives going to China, talking to those people, mandated to come and invest in solar. They could have started this a long time ago.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moses. Thank you. Same to you. Thank you for coming. And of course, let me read you one message and then you can respond. Mr. Malita continues speaking for the party. Forget about those PF cadres that were actually grabbing people's property in Woseko market and today cannot do it. Today, people can actually complain about power, but they were telling people to urinate in the Kariba Dam. I still remember in PF, power used to go at midnight and come back at 04 hours. Things will be okay. It's a phase. This is Kakoma in Kamwala South. Thank you, Kakoma, for your text message and your contribution. Maybe I let you respond where you want to react.
I'll start with Ram Tembo.
Right.
Ram Tembo, I've not come here and announced that things are good with our people. I'm also part of the community. I'm also being load-shedded. But we should now thank God that we have a leadership that is keen to respond to this crisis that this country is facing. We are all going through the load shedding. The drought situation, everyone was affected. Crops were destroyed. You know, our main crop is maize. It was destroyed, and this was not planned. These are natural circumstances that can't happen. So, asking that us in government, us in the ruling party, we are not aware of what is happening. We are fully aware of what is happening, and that's why we are committed to resolve. Like the previous caller said, it's a phase. And how do you react to a phase? Is you have to respond. And this is an opportunity for Zambian people. It's a wake-up call. And the president always says, let's see this situation that we are in as a country as an opportunity for us to work hard. That when we are hit by the same scenario that we have gotten ourselves into, will be better because we have gone through this. Let's not blame, keep on complaining and whatnot. That's why us now in the ruling party, we're not complaining. We're not going to go loud and complain. We're going to respond. This is why the Zambian people had to put an elected for us, is to respond to circumstances like this. So we have opened up when the president declared on the this year on the 29th of, I think, February of this, when he declared this the national disaster, he said this is a national call. Let's not politicize this situation, what we have found ourselves. He's opened up to ideas. What are we seeing now from the opposition? Hey, the president Mwatulairef. No, he's opened up. Bring ideas. Bring those ideas that you have, that you want to, because this situation that we have found ourselves will not wait for 2026. For you, the problem that we have is in our opposition is their preoccupation is 12 August 2026. It's election. They're not even talking about their manifesto. It's just elections. No wonder you can see how crumbled they are now. Everyone wants to take this position. Everyone wants to lead. They're not even putting confidence in the Zambian people. And that's why we said, us as a ruling party, we are going to respond this. Time for campaigning will come. We'll tell them what we have done. We'll tell them what we are doing and what we are about to do. This is a situation that this country is facing. It's a situation that everyone, it's a national call that everyone should come on board and contribute and have those ideas.
There's a counter message I have for you on Facebook. It's coming from a guy called Maxwell X, who says, Imweba Malite, you are just saying that the president is working hard. What is it that he is doing that we can't see as citizens? All right. We have 72 hours of load shedding. Is that what you call working hard? You keep blaming the Patriotic Front. How many power plants have you built in your 3 years in government? Allah, insoni ebuntu. JOJ says, tell Mr. Lukulu to check the Namibian Daily Mail and see what it says, that the past 8 months, 80% of the electricity was imported from Zambia. Again, I know that we are not going to talk more about energy, but it keeps coming up because
because this is a situation that we're
respond. In. And so the issue again that is bothering Zambians is again the issue of why are you exporting power? And now if Namibian, which I need to look up, I didn't check, it's news, but if this is true, that the Namibian Daily Mail says that Namibia has actually gotten power, 80% of electricity from Zambia for the past 8 months, then it simply means that this is not good news to many Zambians.
Of course.
And they keep bringing this matter up to say, why is this government exporting power at the expense of its own citizens? But of course, there are technical explanations that we are getting from experts. But then, if truly that's the situation, then it would irk many Zambians.
Exactly. And I'm with the Zambians. On that, I'm with the Zambians. But at the reality of the situation right now is that Zambia depends on hydropower. And drought has hit the Zambian people. The hydro that we depend on. Of course, the president, when I say the president is working, Makalamba, it's not to see the result upper. It's to respond. Nanguninganda, tet munanda fat, kaya muna for kulenganda, 2 weeks mwa kulenganda, msheningande. So what I'm trying to say is the president is responding to the crisis that we are in. It's not a president that is going to let this situation escalate. This is a situation that we are in, and the situation that the president is responding, and everyone else is responding. And that's why I'm saying this situation that we have found ourselves in, we need to check. Like you've said, there's news that we are in a situation where we cannot afford to be having those reports. You get my point? It will hurt the Zambian people. Am I here to support the wrong thing? No. I'm here to support the Zambian people and to make sure that Zambian people are in safe hands. And this is what the president stands for. We need to be realistic with ourselves. Let's not go and spread false news to incite people to rise against the government. And that's what the president was emphasizing. Because you can incite people over a falsehood and they rise against the government. Where are you going to government? So what we're trying to say is, look, we have found ourselves in this disaster. And that's why the president said this is a national disaster. Those with ideas, even the opposition, they've been given chance. Come. That state house is open. Discuss these matters. Forget about your aspiration for 2026. Respond to this. If you have properly, you want to lead and you have ideas on how you have a better way than what the president is doing right now. I mean, why don't you bring it on the table? And this is what the president is saying. No wonder the president is always saying we have to find all the alternative of energy, and that's what the president is. That's what the government is doing. Nothing finish of to respond.
Let me take some more calls on 0955 221515. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Fine and yours?
I'm fine, thank you. Your name, son, where are you calling us from?
Yeah, I'm calling from within Kawata.
Okay, all right. And your name, you said your name is?
Oh?
Your name?
My name?
Yes.
Yes, I said Victor.
Victor, okay.
Yes, yes.
Please go ahead, Victor.
I'm there. Mamuna nomba echo muliranda ini. Muliranda ki opposition party. Walivi pa abantu Zambia. But mala but imacho marechika nishimuliva opposition party. Same thing. You write to the people, you guys. Okay. You write to the people. No. Litwalashtasha numungaya waraita 50 kwacha. Amalaiti. God locating alapwa. Fuel twalawosha mtengo. Dola yalaisa padi 8 chani. Chonte kumala wa nomba pamone tuwepa again. Andingana mieva ketini muvepe. In a country the better church idene rote to employ the people, employ the nurses, the doctors or the teachers. Because even the PF when the the same thing what you did because they started building like it's a necessary. Monderata. When I come like it's a necessary 5 years by time that building a pamnoza ikavanto. Whatever ikavanto, wakaita employee bantu without any building. Wazan the 7 Ramon. Wazapo the Sirapat. That's a Vanankara safety for building. Then Bamboisha follow up now. I think it cannot deserve in election. Is that like a time? Kizambo manje kuita employment. But you are celebrating like you did anything. You did nothing, guys. Please put up your socks. Not to kutina marion to mal electricity. One and by big thing. Ingo lira na mama right. Mupia kusinarire na also. Mupia kuendeche 3 hours yakaenda kapandisha kwe. But these days now we are missing electricity almost to 6 hours. 7 hours. Sometimes even 4 days, 5 days. Where? On it. But we love the Zambians. You love the Zambians. What does this time out, you guys? Put up your socks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Victor, for coming. We appreciate your contribution. We'll take some more. 0955 221515. That's the number that you're calling us on. Good morning and welcome to the Burning Issue.
Thank you so much. Good morning, my brother.
I'm well, thank you. Your name, sir?
You are speaking to Siame calling the Lusaka.
Siame.
Indeed.
Please go ahead.
Thank you so much. Who is the studios there? Is it Mr. Lukuru?
No, this is Mr. Emmanuel Malite. He is member of the UPND Alliance and he's aspiring for Roan constituency 2026.
Okay. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Siam.
Thank you so much. Coming to the issues you have elaborated there, I think I want to agree with the previous caller to say, you people, you don't love Zambians. You don't love Zambians at all. Okay? And these ones are very simple. Ubunono buli munganda nje mpere nebo mulando abati turomfana sana na neba ngakanganga na mtano obunga buja ichibusa charapa. It doesn't work like that. We have a crisis of power. You cannot continue exporting power. At least you have to, if there is a mean and ways, you have to reduce the export so that Zambian people, especially we who are heated by this load shedding, can at least find time to work. We are not working. As I'm talking to you right now, I'm just seated, doing nothing, as if I came to play here in Lusaka. Okay? twaisa mukuwomba mu lusakata twaisa mukushipula ngefe balanda ba president ati no mu lusakata mwakulala eminkonono but this time around tulerisha eminkonono. Why? Because we are spending 3 days without power and you say you love Zambians. Okay, buy power so that you can minimize on load shedding. You are telling us to buy solar. How much is the kit of solar? Have you been to town to find out how much a panel of solar is costing? Just a simple battery is costing 3,500. How many can afford that? You haven't even bought a solar panel. Just a single battery, it is costing 6,500. And you are telling us to go solar. Is that solar going to come just like that? You need the resources for you to buy those things. Find means and ways. Okay, you government, give us those solars so that we can start paying you what you saw at low price or pay slow. That's what we can do. Thank you so much, my brother. We are listening well.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Siame, for coming. And we appreciate your contribution. I would like to take a couple more because most of the views seem to be similar.
Yeah.
So we'll take as many as we can.
Yes.
Good morning.
Mulishani ba maluti mulishani.
Tulife wino gati mulishani mkwae atibani.
Natotela ninebo kumbere.
Kumbere.
Bandala mulela ndake bwino ba maluti.
Ba kumbere muletu mina kwi.
Ndi mulusaka.
Watasha mkwae.
Bakalamba walifuma mu buteko bwa kulomba. Uko balefwa ubuteko twakanchokola tipera amasola omomo eto tetibopeshe ndangata tukwanishe ikala pate muno kweko okuli load shedding uko ali poor drought kuno rainfall pattern chalo chonse. That's why it's even expensive now. Bamaluti ichachine ifo tulera ndati akutila ti apa tulera ndamalaiti na bamwesha 295 in a contract. You don't just terminate it like that. There are consequences you breach until at the right time whatever number twachula twamwele tukabesi kyafulungana umuteko na bubwesha ama light tatule yamona mamba korea rizi iyo ba UP ba PF ba internationalize bakwano kuisala bali twala UPND ndalama over 600,000 US dollars then na bata double number na production ya light akale ifo tulela nani timwe bali mu studio dili aba UPND bale tuvunga tukabwesha pali 50 kwacha nishibwena bwali 65 kwacha nomba leta after mwaleka baonongani bakokola baona ulabaisa buso basangire obunga 45 basa ushapali 165 ewo kabiri ifo tuteto alacha pali 50 kwacha baonongani bali itirwa ukuti babutwale pa 50 opa 80 babushe kuti mwaleta mwirabula ma promises ya myaka nshishi bantu nabana tabana tyarwa lero bali mu grade 7 ewo muleleta lero ready for party nota levonga mwalolesha konkeni report 3 years ago 2 years ago not if you lero today it's worse. Uwaleta pilianina amataba baleti tuleria ya poison abalete mu politician mo permanent secretary ali bana muchibe aleti mafoni kuli ba mirati yasunge ntu create pressure so that tupange kukasudo shortage ibaka ule ba UPND teo yale lubululoko nama mirazi mwaga ngirisi abasungiria amatabe instant mpaka ambo kubola ya kwata na protoxin ya stafement ni bana nchipa nishi baleti support check them. They are friends of a certain political party. So what are we saying? The economy is being resuscitated. Oh, well, meaning Zambians need to support the UPND. Inchitomule Engisha mwati atitakuri. Ushenga wakure skulu. Umuno wena waisa Engisha mwabantu. Nishena tabombele.
Bakumbere. Twatotera. Mkwae. Mwarande fingsana. We Zambians complain a lot and nothing else. And we don't appreciate even a little we have. HH is not God Almighty. Let us just forward our prayers to our heavenly God, who gives us rains to have food. This is Alfred from Kamwala. Thank you, Alfred, for your text message. Adson Joseph on Facebook. Your message is not clear, but I'll read it as is. It says 2026 is election year. Nothing will change our minds. So why is your message not clear? I'm not sure which mind that is. It would have been nice which mind that will remain unchanged. But thank you for your message. But I'll take another call. Let me take this one. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, this is Roger from Lusaka. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much. Is your radio on?
Yes.
Just turn it on. Just turn it off because I'm getting feedback. Just turn it off.
It's off now. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Yes. So me, I would like to make a question. Right, complaining has always been there in the previous government. We've seen this. Everyone will always complain. There will always be people to complain. Me, I am in support of the current president. Only a few things I would disagree with, right? We know the future is people, right? These people need to focus on young people because I feel like the old ideas are not working in the current situation. Things are changing. Global warming is not a political issue. It's not an individual problem. It affects regions and countries, right? Let us come up with means that benefit the people, right? I have an issue with the cleanup of towns. Yes, of course, we needed vendors out of town, but at least make a means of these people so that they can survive. You guys, hunger is not a good thing. It will turn people into something else. There will always be complaints. Shallow, one, two. Don't look at problems on paper. You are eating comfortably in aircon. You can manage all of these things, but people are suffering. Please look at the situation and help people. Let us make long-term goals, not just goals that will win you elections. As it stands, 3 years right now, if SS is to lose the next election, there's no legacy except policies and speeches. Let's work, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your contribution. I'm not sure if you want to respond, or I can give you as many as
give me
as many as we can. Let me give you a text on Facebook. Says, good morning, Zach and our guest there. Is it true that ZESCO is exporting power to other countries? This is James from Mutendere. Mr. Maliti, this is the next question. Mr. Maliti, tell your president to visit George compound. We have no water to cook soya pieces and we can no longer bath. Shame on you. This is Ngoza Zulu. And then this one says, Lazak, why is it that the UPND and Alliance are now moving from one media house to another? Whom are they trying to win? Maybe at this point, I can just allow you to respond where you think there is need to respond.
The need to, I would say, overview. I think the power issue is dominating. Is dominating.
Yeah,
and it should be very unfair for the Zambian people not to hear what the position of the government is concerning the power issue. The power issue, countrymen and women, it's going to be resolved. It has affected everyone. That's why you can see now gensets all over the markets in Lusaka. It's one way of trying to resolve the power issue. We would not be in government and hear people complain and not respond. Then why did we get us into office? We got us into office because they wanted to respond to the crisis of the country. We wanted to respond to the issues that people are facing. So everyone that has complained, I understand where they're coming from. But it's a wake-up call to the Zambian people that this situation could have handled it better if we had expected that we would go through this. But coming out of this situation, let's all learn that we need to have ideas on how we're going to not to depend on hydropower. The previous governments had invested so much. When you go to Kariba and Siavonga, they have invested heavily. Only Kariba power station, if the water levels were enough, it can power the whole country. The investment that is there. But here we are. We're depending on hydro. So alternative power sources, and also in the household, the way we all have adopted the boreholes in our homes, I think that's a route that we have to start now thinking. It's a necessity that somebody should have even a solar panel at their house, because this situation is a wake-up call. So we, as a ruling party, we are saying this situation is a wake-up call. We sympathize with people. I remember the president in the president's speech, he says we sympathize with all the small businesses. They've been affected, and we sympathize with them. And we're not only ending on sympathizing with them, alternative power sources are being worked on. When you are trying to work out things like this, when it's not yet actualized, people complain. We expect that. We expect people to complain because they are feeling it. And also, when it comes, you look at the mines on the Copper Belt. People are complaining, KCM, Mopani is dead and whatnot. That story is now ending. It was like it's something that cannot be achieved. 20th shaft was merely just something that we say, no, this thing has become a scrap. This mine has become a scrap. People would just say, this is a scrap now. This mine is not going to come back to life. Here we are. It's a different story. So as politicians, we understand this. And I'll say this and I'll say it again. I'm very happy that I'm part of the UPND Alliance government, looking at the leadership that we have with President Hakainde Hichilema. In my political career, having a president at the helm of governance that is hardworking is one of a blessing that I've ever been in my whole political career. This man works hard for the Zambian people. Circumstances, let's pray that this rain, we pray to God that we'll have a good rain this season. And that's our prayer. President Hakainde Hichilema does not manufacture rain. If he manufactured rain, this time around we would have manufactured. He's also praying to God that we have good rain so that we can have a good harvest. Remember what our aim was, that farmers should respond to plant a lot of maize. Farmers responded. How did we find ourselves? Drought. Almost half of what we expected to harvest in this season was destroyed. So again, and I'll say it, Zambians, this wake up. This is an opportunity. This government that we have now, it's an opportunity for us to work in our areas that we think it's open enough. It has opened up empowerment, youth empowerment, the CDF. Please don't sit down and yourself with this government, especially to the young people. You've heard you have done teaching, nursing. You've heard that they will be employing. I've witnessed, people would say, what you're saying you have not employed. I've witnessed families that have been changed just because one of their members in their family has gotten a job in the army. You should be visiting this pass out. That's how we see how families have been changed. Yes, when you're seated here, we're talking about numbers of 40,000 teachers, 4,000 servicemen and whatnot, 300 of immigration officers. People think families are not being changed. It's better somebody's working than not working. Let's not forget where we're coming from, the Zambian people. Do not forget where we're coming from. Even in my preamble, I said, what is happening right now is we are building a generation, something that has never been done on the Copper Belt, where a mine was shut for 23 years. It is now something that we are hoping that now jobs will be created. Please, Zambian people. Yes, we've been found ourselves in this situation. We all admit. Unless Mr. Zaki, or Mr. Zaki, you're not feeling it. We're all feeling it. I came here, I wanted to find where I have to charge my phone because it has affected everyone. We have adjusted, and because this is what we have found ourselves in. Thank God we have a government that is responding to that. I don't know where we would have found ourselves. That's why this country, God loves it. All we want to do is let's pray to God that He gives us a good rain. And according to the weather reports that we are receiving, we're going to have a good rain. And let's be positive about our own nation. Let's be positive. I'll urge all the Zambian people, especially young people, let's be positive about, do not be misled. Learn from youths like me who have been in politics for quite some time, and I know how misleading other old politicians can be to just push their agenda to campaign for them. I know how it feels. So where we are right now, it's a wake-up call that we work hard towards this crisis that this country is facing. Yes.
I'll take the last batch of phone calls.
Okay.
Let me take the last batch of phone calls. I'll probably take 5 phone calls, and then we conclude and we call it a day. So let's start with this one. Good morning. Please tell.
Morning, Mr. Zach.
Okay, how are you?
I'm good. Banda here.
Bachanda. Okay.
Mkwai
Bachanda.
You know, situation in Ghana, it was Edgar Lungu, even Edgar Lungu, you know, they would take. Therefore, back in the valley and they'll have more position. Edgar Lungu, not to push for one. One to bad and then for to buy the Iloka, but the poor leadership. Eh? Usanga not more, I mean, Edgar Lungu, no Shanga, you will take. But actually, so sometimes, who was young and I was got to the Sumina, not the points of Siva Madite. Eh? Thank you very much.
Let's take another one on 0955-221515. Good morning.
Morning, how are you?
Very well. And how are you?
I'm okay.
Is this Brother Chilonda?
Yeah, correct.
Please go ahead, sir.
You know, let's say good morning in our culture. Good morning, the guests and everybody and listeners. Yeah, you know, the problem which we had over the electricity. I think we should think about it tomorrow. Don't just think for today. As the Bible says. And today, as we sit, children are still born in the hospitals. And population is increasing. So those you know that Kariba were constructed in Colonial and between Northern Rhodesia and Southern Rhodesia. Even Kaunda found it. So now we were not thinking adequately. So let us think, what about 2050? What will be the population? That's what we're supposed to do. So now even the current government, next government should think about that. Make sure that we make more hydropower. More. Zambia is not only Kariba. We have more water. Go to northern, go to western. You go everywhere. There is water. So the electricity comes from water. So we should continue thinking about this. Don't think about only today. Think about what you are going to eat tomorrow. The other issue is that yes, we are aware that this time economy is not doing well. But what we have to do is to work hard and make sure that people have 3 meals a day. At this point, what I'm telling you is the fact, because that's why people vote for change. What they want is opportunity, and the better life of the people. Bring opportunity to the people. We are not saying people are lazy, but opportunity to them. Businessmen, marketeers, farmers, what they need is good governance and good opportunities.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Chilonda, for coming. I'll take one more message as well, but I'll still take some more calls. Let me just see what this one is. Morning, panelist. Zambian people must not forget that, one, we had 12 billion debt from international lenders, and we defaulted in PF. 2, we had a debt in fuel subsidies, about 2 billion of it. 3, we had no reserves in the Bank of Zambia. So UPND inherited these anomalies. HH and UPND Alliance are real men. This is Peter from Chingola. Thank you, Peter from Chingola. Let me take this call. Good morning.
Good morning, Zachariah.
Very well. And how are you?
Very fine, thank you.
Your name? From Chingola. You're calling from Chingola. I need your name, though. I know you're calling from Chingola.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don German the first.
German, you said?
Don German the first.
Yeah, Don German the first.
Exactly.
How is Chingola?
Chingola is quite okay.
Tell us about KCM.
KCM is not functioning very well right now. I've not seen anyone getting employed.
Could you Z?
Yeah, we are all waiting. Yeah, coming back to electricity,
Okay.
For Ngalanda in here, Colombo, once Intunguru Sham UPND, Afghan Police are pepe. Because in the traveling, as I need to know, Intunguru Shari on Philadelphia, Fiade Kafia, Resa, I have a better punishment. Mukana Rushemfura. They went to Murushi, Shagua took punishment to Kapurisa. They are what took Sherry La Porus. If you have a period of time with him, Karambo in this punishment for the for it to Muricharo. Not understand. Not what Mukayum Furia, one Pana Vicar is a pantange. From a Chakwa to study what can punish the Buddhists. There's hard to La Porus. I rest my case, I think.
Natasha Sanamkwai. Right. Let me take, I'm remaining with how many? 2 more calls, and then we begin to conclude. 0955-221515. Thank you very much, Don Ja the first from Chingola. Let me take this one. Good morning.
Good morning.
Just reduce the volume on your radio, please. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, please. Your name and where are you calling us from?
I'm calling you from Osaka,
Elias.
Yes, sir.
Please go ahead, Elias.
Abatandalire mu studio.
Buena Manishan.
Program nati umpono kuikonga tuikonga. Problem na monako oili hapa. Ya kwa bati ilo trading to apitamo. O I drought to apitamo. Yapsa na ma drought yale tanga kuno. Na fano kutarite sana. Kwa tatu triple experience ya kwa bati na mulima. But autombwele mu chilichonze mu zare zonse no kunya mu chilichonze. Takwa de kutia tije kwezo kuno. Then takwa kwa tije kuno mu kwa chama ama ball tiare kama by this time. Ichotelera ngo kwa timfura takwali. And then government yopo yafikire rapa kwa tifuna sikosa. Semo azinalide. Tunatamba kwa masports na barabara butwa kuno moku. Kuma skuru pakupeleshanya ujowa yamba ujangatambire tebuino mishiyarami kosera kuitisha mwara kwanisho yarami kosera ukuinalire ile mwara kutamba so same nechikapa abapere UPND valiona uile tabambire bwino so apamani pakutipushe bwino tisa simoneke bwino ifule apotesha kosana manongecho ile so simoneke bwino abapena tyo tiamoneka abantu konsera kukera. But we are very much sure that you people, you are very focused. Muku what you want to come. Because now, sana konka ba minister na leo for minister yesterday parliament. But 450 megawatts. Overage time import. Then Korea overage export. Valid study code 290 megawatts. Kwavo valitwaliro kwandati tulerusha namakayonse by the end or before the end of this year ikeze kolo chedi muni 5 hours and then nama alternative yambyo bapangire yale monekale panga ko tensa kama ndio babati tabachikire depend sana kumfura so kuya kuntanji kinchara bafe buino na chepekera twalile mpofyo kubombesha twalile mpokubeba abantu beshibepshinga Zambia abantu barema bati fiona wikira wapene ndiye fiona ike kulumoko then bale nisho kutarani dali
Twatasha Elias
mkwae
I'm taking one last call on 0955221515. That's the number you're calling us on. This is the last call I'm taking. Good morning, and please tell us your name and where you're calling us from. Ndife bwino bachama kale mwalubira kwi
awe nabano munandi edwati
emkwaye
shani bakalambo mu studio
awe no munishani bacha
twatotera sana
emkwaye
bakalamba muchiwembatsira ndati uwulira tava mucheva kukanwa aya matushi tirepitamo isala yachitalawe muntwalire kwa mashiwa akuri vakateka vakwate taimu yakupitana mumakompound pantu avengi valemu vepakateka teshiwene fire chitika iyo honestly mwalikala mwe vantu 4 days amalaikita kwava ama freedom yalenunga manda ya vantu tapa vanete yakuvika mo vakalamba usekweneto chisuma olovalela ndati yo power walitariko power nombana mwalitariko power ni vanani avalevo mpya power pantu America irandati American defense imwe mwavika nombati foreign defense at the expense of your own people. Is that fair? Please, in the name of God, people have cried. Who do you expect, for God's sake, to come and vote for you again? Please, 18th October, Molte mukeme mukaye kuchira pilo mukaela pila pake mwabe pela bena Zambia nokustatinti abakaele yatibacha kola koma wale kunga bwino wale ya 5 times eleta pale Zambia. Thank you.
Natasha Mkwaiba Chama Alan, that's our last caller. Did you have anything to respond to at this point?
At this point,
it's still energy that's coming up.
It's still energy that's coming.
But let's conclude then. I mean, Emmanuel Malite, you are a member of the UPND Alliance and aspiring for Roan constituency come 2026. What's your concluding remarks as we close?
Thank you very much, first. Now, and the callers that have contributed,
right,
and the masses that you've allowed me to speak to, across the country.
Right.
I know you cut a lot, Central, Copper Belt, Nokotwafuma, Lusaka, and obviously in the Northern Circuit.
Yeah.
My last remarks is Zambians, let's all support the cause of the man. This is the president that is alive to the fact that we are hit with this disaster. He's not sleeping until this thing is resolved. And at cost, that's why we are here, is to make sure that falsehood is not spread because it's destroyed the country. And I'll urge the young people of this country that as we do our politics, let's put our country first, because we only have one Zambia, and that's one Zambia is one nation. And this coming independence, as we celebrate our 60th independence, let's all recall that we need to contribute to what our forefathers did to get us into the independence that we have. The call to national duty and hard work is what this government represents. Thank you.
Mr. Emmanuel Malite, thank you very much for coming today to this particular program, the Thursday edition issue. We can only wish you all the best in your political aspirations.
Thank you so much.
And please pass our regards to the people of Luansha.
Yes.
Well, listeners, that's what we had for you this Thursday on our Thursday edition of the Benning Issue. Remember, we will be back next week with both the Tuesday and Thursday editions, and make sure you make a date with us. And I would like to appreciate our partner radio stations that carried this program live on their platforms. And we appreciate particularly Tuta FM in Mansa, appreciate Muchinga Radio in Chinsali, and iWave FM radio in Chingola, as well as Spice FM in Kabwe. So from us all is take care of yourselves and more so of each other. Bye-bye.
Tune in next week for another edition of The Burning Issue, and thank you for your participation.